It was an incredibly big day, not only for the team, but also for the whole of South Africa. And to have Nelson Mandela there was incredible, but we didn't know he was going to wear a Springbok shirt. And he came into the changing room before the game, which was for me very emotional. And he just said, good luck. And he had the Springbok shirt on. And when he turned around, there was the number 6 on his back, and it was a very emotional time for me.
If you have to say the greatest moments of my life is my kids being born and then walking out onto the Ellis Park tunnel after the team had lined up for the national anthems. I'd locked the change room and checked everything was all right. And as I came walking out to hear 70,000 South Africans, mostly white South Africans, chanting Nelson, Nelson, Nelson. If I sit here, I get very moved about that moment, because then I saw that the sport has a great power in the world, and through sport we can do things.
I was at that stadium, and I get goosebumps thinking about it now. When Nelson Mandela walked on with the number 6 jersey, and the whole stadium erupted and applauded him, and I knew then that we have the possibility of winning this World Cup, because the crowd, you could see in their eyes, they believed that they would beat the All Blacks on that day.
I think I've never seen so many South African flags that day, you know.
And the players, when they ran on the field, by looking at the crowd, it gave them self-belief that they will beat the All Blacks.
It was awesome, and it was magical.
They had a better individual players. They were probably better on paper, but not as a team. And it's teams that win rugby.
Every final in the Rugby World Cup is the most important match you will ever play in your life. So if you don't give it everything that you've got, then you'll be sad afterwards. We gave it everything that we had.
We're just happy to play in the final. You know, I think we exceeded everyone's expectations. You know, for us to be in the final was an achievement itself. We had the opportunity to watch the semi when England played against New Zealand, and that's where Jonah Lomu had that amazing game. I just remember walking down, you know, when we were on our way to the field, the two teams were, you know, walking next to each other out, and I was walking about 3 meters from him, and I couldn't realize the size of this man, you know, so I must say I was a bit afraid.
Oh, you could hear the chanting inside the stadium. You can, the ground was shaking and everything else. You can hear the jumbo jet go past, and you know, we knew we were in for epic battle, and you know, the classic rivalries, All Blacks, South Africa.
That's quality position from the lineouts that New Zealand are getting. This is Lomu. He's found his way down the middle.
He was very quick, and all the tries that he scored or made was always on the outside. So all that we wanted was to ensure that he comes inside.
They played a very interesting defense, so they rushed from the outside in. But it also, this also showed what, you know, how they thought about the game.
Lomu got the ball and he went around under Joubert, our fullback, you know, and I was basically the last man left, you know, so I thought if I don't get him, you know, then he's going to score a try. I just gave my best, you know, and luckily the big guy went down.
Osborne, now Jonah Lomu, and Andre Joubert, the big man has got strength. What a great tackle from Japie Mulder.
Such a hard game, it could have gone anyway. You know, luckily for South Africa, you know, Joel Stransky got that magnificent drop goal, and we managed to win the game.
Has he got it? Yes, it's over. Stransky got number 2 in the match, and South Africa are in the lead.
And when that final whistle blew, it was very emotional for me.
The Roo goes in. That is it. The final whistle then. South Africa win this Rugby World Cup final.
I'm a Christian, and all I did, I just went to my knee to pray and say thank you for the opportunity to play in such a tremendous match. And before I knew it, all the players were there with me. We just bowed our heads and said thank you to be able to play in such a wonderful game.
Stransky looks for the drop. Has he got it? Yes, it's over. Stransky's drop number 2 in the match, and South Africa are in the lead, 15 points to 12.
I can still remember how I felt that day. It's an unbelievable feeling. I think it's a feeling you can't describe to anybody.
The 95 World Cup, we saw something bigger than just rugby. We saw a country come together, and when you look into the crowd, you saw this one rainbow nation come together. And for me, that took a little bit of the sting of losing, even though it still hurt because we wanted to win.
It was a real historic occasion. And with our president, Mr. Nelson Mandela, wearing François Pienaar, our captain, his shirt with his number on the back, with his cap, going there with François to receive the cup, it was very emotional.
Mr. Mandela gave me the cup and he shook my hand and he said to me, thank you for what you've done for South Africa. And I said to him, no, thank you for what you have done for South Africa. And that's how we spoke in the final moments of the Rugby World Cup in '95.